Cleopatra, born in 69 BC in Alexandria, Egypt, Macedonian Greek descent, reigned in the Hellenistic period and was known for her famous quote, "I will not be led in a triumph." She is an idol for beauty, luxury, and success for women, but historically written, is known for war, murder, and propaganda. A queen that used her seductive ways to solidify her power in Egypt, using the most influential men in history, Caesar and Mark Antony. She stood between the two empires of Egypt and Rome, declaring herself as the Queen of Kings, and ruthless enough to kill her very own brothers and siblings to remain in power. Now, as history puts it, the Ptolemaic dynasty was handed Egypt after Alexander the Great conquered and passed. Cleopatra, being the seventh, had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. As the Ptolemaic dynasty was of interbreeding to control the bloodline, she married her very own brother, Ptolemy XIII, after her father died in mysterious circumstances, and the older sister was executed. Cleopatra was the oldest that ruled, along with her brother that was only 10 in Egypt. Now, although they were willed to rule together, Cleopatra did not take it kindly of her younger brother being involved with the throne. Pompey, Caesar's official, was beheaded by her brother, which puts Caesar into questioning the king. Cleopatra sees this as an opportunity and takes matters into her hands to capitalize on the execution by meeting with Caesar to seduce him into helping her take control of Egypt. She had already won over the subjects by participating in religious rituals and traditions of Egypt, so the people were honestly on her side. The rivalry began for the throne. Cleopatra's treacherous behaviors give Caesar a piece of Egypt if he helps with the removal of her brother from the throne, and the civil war is initiated. Caesar joins with Cleopatra and her armies, where her younger sister winds up being banished and held captive. Her brother dies by drowning during his escape, and our other younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, mysteriously dies by poisoning. Cleopatra officially claims the throne. She gives birth to Caesar's son, hoping to gain more power for Egypt and Rome, as he could be the heir, but a coup rises in Rome, causing Caesar's death, and her son is denounced as heir. Cleopatra is left without an ally. The power of Rome splits into 2 between Mark Antony, Caesar's commanding soldier, and Octavian, Caesar's nephew and willed heir. Octavian, not recognizing her son, she seduces Mark Antony by summoning him to a meeting, hoping to regain an ally back in Rome. Falling in love, they say, she charmed him continuously, and he weakened for her heart, although an agenda remained underneath. Cleopatra wanting to get rid of her other sister, as she was the only one left as a threat to her reign. Mark Antony murders her sister for her, and Cleopatra bears 2 of his children, and they unify against Octavian, as Cleopatra's son will be targeted. Losing against Octavian, it's written that Cleopatra commits suicide by poisoning in so many different ways, from a bite to a snake or injection, who knows, but Antony also commits suicide by dagger or sword. This is one of the most historical figures of a love triangle, lust of power, and tragedy. With all of her conquests of power, did she do any good for Egypt? Cleopatra's economy, the Nile experienced droughts of resources and famine. Inflation was also another problem during her reign. It is stated that it was regulated to fix the problem, but Egypt still fell after her death, being that she was the last leader of the country. So, what do I get from this? It seems like even in history, women who always desire power falls to the ways of seducing men to gain control. Sexuality with the agenda to conquer, one of the most common ways of manipulation of modern times. The sexual conquest for control. Modern women to be these ruthless queens to reign over the people at any cost. Now, Cleopatra was a single mother who was queen, who slept with influential men for power and murdered anyone who tried to stop her. It's not a coincidence that in modern times, women love to call themselves queens, as they see her influence through many movies and entertainment. There's even a belief of her being an ancestor within a certain community, died to have such power within them. This seductive power of women is never for societal growth or for their immediate families, but for glorified status, wealth, and way of living. Modern women desiring this type of honor and praise, to be recognized and worshipped as beautiful icons that are intelligent, full of luxury, and successful, only to be desired by men of power, a certain standard that is very common. This Greek ruler of Egypt is known as the feminine symbol of power and sexuality, often replicated by costume, attitude, and influence. She knew only one way to maintain control for her reign, and it was through the lust of men. A power so entitled and full of greed. Sounds very familiar, don't you think? Once captured by Octavian to be taken to Rome, she instead offs herself so she won't have to endure the parading of her fall. That even sounds like she didn't want accountability to me. Many queens in history never ruled for their kingdom, but only to gain more power than what was given. Their sexual conquests to maintain their power, wealth, and greed. A trend still replicated today. But what do y'all think? Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you like more videos like this, stay tuned for my next review on historical queens. And if you didn't, tell me why in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that bell button so you will know when I drop a new video. And as always, I thank you all for watching.